I'm good. You ready to roll?
Always.
Welcome back to episode 6 of our limited podcast series on gaining peace of mind when it comes to sales tax. I've got Paul with me again today. Just Paul with me again today. Just Paul. And we've talked a lot about some important spokes, and we're going to talk about the final spokes. Now, you might not think 6 spokes makes a sturdy wheel, but these are really sturdy, important spokes.
They're thick.
Okay? Thick spokes that make up this wheel of compliance when it comes to sales tax.
Strong, sturdy wheel.
And when you have strong, sturdy wheel on your vehicle, on your bike, whatever you're on,
that mode.
You have a little more confidence and peace of mind as you navigate different terrain, right? So if you've got sales taxes handled, and you've got these spokes in place, then you can feel pretty good about what's going on.
Definitely.
So let's talk about spoke number 6, which you might not even think is a spoke, but it's incredibly important. Let me just say this: an envelope from the State Department of Revenue showing up on your desk does not have to ruin your week.
No, don't let an envelope in the mail ruin your week.
Listen, if you see something from the State Comptroller of the state of Texas, you might be like, oh. Here's what you cannot avoid once you have complied with the sales tax laws in multiple states. You can't avoid correspondence from the state. You're going to receive different correspondence. I think probably the number one key for me is whatever it is, you can't ignore it, right? So you might get a notice from the state. Could be just a notice letting you know your filing frequency has changed.
Ooh, important.
It could be a notice indicating that you've overpaid tax.
Ooh.
That would be nice. That's
that would
rare.
Be a shock.
That's rare. It could be a notice that you've underpaid tax. It could be a notice that you did not timely file, even though you did timely file.
Oh, that's a common
Sometimes
one.
you get a notice that says, hey, your return was late, here's a penalty.
Yeah.
And then you have to prove to them that your return wasn't late.
I did it right.
And then they remove the penalty.
Yeah.
It also could be a questionnaire.
Yeah.
They could just be trying to obtain some information. It definitely could be an audit notice.
Definitely.
Right? They might be indicating that you're up for audit.
Yep.
And you might feel like that can ruin your week, but if you've got the sales tax system in place, you've got this rugged compliance wheel with the spokes, then you don't have to worry so much about that. So the key is don't ignore any correspondence. And I want you to talk just a little bit about what happens if you do ignore correspondence, right?
Yeah.
Notice came, indicated I had a late return.
Yeah.
I know I filed it on time, so I throw the notice away.
Yeah.
What can happen to a $50 late filing fee from a notice that you don't believe is due if you toss that notice away?
Oof. Don't do that, number one. Number one. As with most things in sales tax, you can't just bury your head in the sand and just ignore it, right? But when it comes to notices in particular, you get a $50 balance due notice and you ignore it. Time goes by, they can add additional penalties. They can start charging you interest on that. You keep ignoring that, then they could escalate it to issuing a silly lien against your business.
A silly lien? Does that mean
$50?
It's not serious?
That's absolutely silly. Okay, you're gonna issue a lien for this $50 notice? Yeah.
Which maybe has turned into $500.
It's definitely possible. You know, it's additional penalty, it's additional interest that's accruing. Again, because you just ignored it, and the state doesn't know any different. They put the burden of proof on you, right? Hey, you didn't file it on time, or we missed it, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, just don't bury your head in the sand.
Yeah, a tax lien can turn into them taking control of your bank account.
Yeah, freeze.
It can turn into a Jeopardy audit notice.
Yeah.
Where they estimate the amount of tax that might be due because you haven't responded, right? Or an audit notice that you didn't respond to could turn into we call it a desk audit or a Jeopardy audit.
Right.
I can tell you this, any estimate that the state makes on tax that you might owe is always more than you actually owe.
It's always wrong.
100%. 100%.
It could also get sent to collections. Well, now you got to deal with some third-party collection agent who has their own fees plus a percentage of the tax. You know,
So the key to correspondence is don't ignore it.
Nip it in the bud.
Nip it in the bud. So essentially, what you've done is you have, when you registered with the state, When you came forward, you entered into an agency relationship
You did.
where you are saying that you're going to act on behalf of the state when it comes to the sales tax law.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some correspondence. You're now married, so to speak, and you're going to have some interaction. So it's really important that you recognize that you now have a relationship with the state,
Yeah.
and you should take seriously that relationship,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people don't want to hear from the state, but I think if you are prompt and timely in your response,
Yep.
if you're effective in providing information that might be requested, it doesn't mean that you can't get a second opinion on what the state might be asking about.
For sure.
And provide the most appropriate information to them when they ask for it. But you want to respond. You want to interact with the state and have a relationship with the state. When it comes to audits, I think it's really important. We could have a significant series on just how to handle an audit.
Right.
There's a significant amount of opportunity to just understand how to develop the relationship with the auditor, with the state,
Right.
with the situation, what information to provide, on and on and on. But I think key here is you want to have a relationship, you want to answer correspondence, you don't want to ignore it,
Right.
because it can lead to a lot more headache and heartache than
The state keeps track of that history too. So when they send you a notice for a late filed return, let's say, or a missing schedule because you didn't file the return correctly or accurately, the state keeps record of those. And so I think it just adds to your repertoire, if you will, and your relationship with the state. So under audit, when an auditor comes in, depending on their visibility into the system and what's available, I mean, they can see, oh, it looks like you guys have been in compliance for a long time and you have a good track record, a good history. You know, when it comes to audits, you may be assigned the same auditor 4 years later when you get another audit. And so if the same systems are in place, same people are in place, it really just gives you a leg up in that audit. And don't be reactive. I mean, it's helpful to be proactive and just nip it in the bud from the very beginning. Don't let the state go wonky with it and take it out in left field. And yeah, it's just better to be proactive and take care of it.
Yeah,
respond right away.
So I think this is an important spoke. So thank you for your thoughts on this, Paul.
Yeah.
You're an easy guy to have a relationship with. The state taxing authority is not always easy to have a relationship with.
This is true.
When you send me correspondence, I'm eager to open it
Oh, thank you.
and review it.
Thank you.
And respond. When I get an envelope from the state, I'm not always so eager. But
Hey, do me a favor when you get that, just send it over to me and I'll take care of it for you.
100%.
I'll give you some peace of mind.
If you're looking again for some more tips on how to handle correspondence, what to do when some of these things come up, just grab the guide. The guide will help you.
The guide will help
with that information.
Yeah.
Especially when you're looking for some peace of mind.
Yeah.
On this topic.
And if you have another service provider that is working on that notice and they can't get an answer, or you maybe disagree, or you think there's another solution, happy to provide a second opinion on it too.
Always.
Hey, I got this notice. Here's what I'm being told. Is there really another way we can go about it? Probably.
In fact, I think what we've said is we want to be your first second opinion. Whatever situation that you're involved in with sales tax, we want to build some confidence into your reaction, your decisions, whatever you're going to do going forward.
Yeah.
So thanks again, Paul. Appreciate your time.
Happy to be here.